What's the matter? You look as though you got a problem.
I'm just wondering when the screws are going to let Peterson out of the pound.
I wouldn't worry about her. We can get along without her, I reckon.
Bloody sure we can. But the point is, I'm the hit lady, remember?
Whose clothes are these?
Mine, why?
Hey,
Did you really expect to get away with it?
Well, no, as a matter of fact, I didn't.
It's all right, love.
where are we?
We're miles from anywhere. Anybody. Just you and me.
Why aren't you driving?
Well, I just felt like a break. I've been driving for quite a while. Especially when I looked in the back of it. I just saw you fast asleep there. I just thought maybe we could get a bit comfortable together.
You stuck-up little bitch! Who the hell do you think you are? You're only a bloody jailbird anyway! You can't afford to be so high and bloody mighty! You're stuck up in your own here, girl! All right, you can stay here then.
Well, I don't get it. It's not like B to be so careless.
Beats me, Jude.
You shuffling those cards or just giving them a massage?
Why, do you want to play?
Might as well. Those two are about as lively as a wet day at the beach. God, you two aren't much better. What's up?
It's B. Bloody old po-face caught her with some stuff that was pinched from the kitchen.
You're kidding.
No, she's in the pound now.
Oh, yeah? Good one. Gets herself slung in the Peter to get off the hook.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, safely tucked away in there, she's not going to get a chance to have a go at Kate, is she?
Come off it, Marg. B's not a dill.
Too bloody right she's not. She wouldn't have got herself rolled unless she wanted to.
Well, that's terrific, Columbo. There's only one small thing. Why would she want to stay away from Kate when Kate ain't even here?
Oh, yeah. Kate's in the pound too, isn't she? The cunning bitch. She's got something up her sleeve to get her in there.
I don't think so.
Come on, what about the game?
Forget it. Hey, what do you reckon about this? B's going to get Kate in the pound.
That's a good
How the hell she's going to do that?
I don't know. She's probably got a key like Sandy did or something. Got to hand it to her, though. It's a bloody good idea. Gets herself slung away for a couple of days, then one night when it's nice and quiet, no screws around, no more Kate.
All right, let's go.
What's up?
Nothing.
She's let us down.
Well, that's about it for me. I think I'll call it a day. What about you?
Oh, I got a bit to do. I told Sharon I'd be late. She probably thinks I'm still down the pub.
Bugger it. You wouldn't read about it, would you?
Your wife?
More likely yours.
Ah, let it ring. We're not supposed to be on duty.
No, better answer it. You never know what it could be. Durham Police Station.
Yeah, if you want to pick that girl up and escape from prison, she's out in a home somewhere.
Could I have your name, sir?
No, it doesn't matter. No, I'm just an ordinary bloke. I don't want to get involved. I gave her a lift. She was hitching. I didn't know she was on the run. I dropped her off about 50k outside Glen Ryan.
I see. And you say she was an escapee?
Yeah, well, I reckon so. I heard it on the radio. They gave a description.
Where did you last see her?
Look, I dropped her about a mile north of a creek.
Bugger hung up. Know anything about a girl escapee?
Oh, yeah? Something came through this afternoon.
Right, come on. Some joker reckons he just dropped her off north of the creek.
Oh, Sarge, it's probably a hoax.
Maybe, but we better check it out. Come on.
Okay, Lizzie, out with it. You know more than you're telling.
Yeah. It was me. I did set B up.
But why?
I couldn't stand it any longer. She was backed into a corner by all those silly women. B didn't want to kill Kate any more than you do or me.
Yeah, love, I can understand that. Nobody wants to be the one to pull the trigger, but I don't think your plan's gonna work, honey. Not unless someone gets to Kate before B gets out, and I don't think there's any chance of that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think.
Oh, come on, Brian, get to your own spot.
Good night, Lizzie.
Good night, love.
Ah, she could be anywhere by now. If she was ever here.
Yeah, I suppose.
Where was that bloke calling from?
Didn't say. Probably Bennett's Roadhouse. Dropped her off where he said.
Yeah, if. She's probably picked up another ride in Sydney by now.
Maybe. We'll take a look around Abbott's Crossing and call it a day.
Yeah? Okay.
Do you reckon Kate made it through the night?
Yeah, I wonder. The screws are in for quite a shock when they take her breakfast in.
And there'll be B sitting in her cell like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth.
Bloody mongrels. They feel so bad about Kate. Why don't they do it?
Well, I guess they reckon that's what a top dog's for. So I don't know what they're going to think of B when Kate comes out alive and kicking.
Yeah, they certainly stuffed things up for her this time, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I hate to say this, but you did.
Hey, Margot, I wonder if B will get to look like Silko. Oh, she's bound to.
You know how Kate's always telling the screws how she's crazy?
Yeah.
Well, do you reckon if we add our 2 pennies to it, they'd believe us and send her off to some funny fuck?
Well, why would they believe us?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I don't know neither, do I? Still, it's not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind getting out of that cell, but I don't see much chance of that.
No, but it's worth a try.
Thanks for that, Julie.
Ah, Mr. Faulkner. Good morrow to you, Esquire, and the lovely Mistress Julie. Greetings and salutations to you both.
You must have got out of bed on the right side this morning.
I always get out of bed on the right side. It's part of my noble background. And now, my dear, your autograph. I must away to the bowels of Wentworth there to spread the printed word. The word is jam.
If it wasn't so early, I'd say he was drunk.
Oh, it's a natural high. It'll pass. It just gets these strange attacks sometimes.
Well, looks like you do, too.
Well, it's not every day a girl gets engaged. Oh, but I don't want you to tell anyone. I'll tell them myself when I get the ring.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, now, obviously there's going to be a lot more involved in setting up for a newspaper than there is in the sort of forms we've been doing so far, but it's basically pretty simple as long as you do your layout accurately beforehand. Now, the first thing to do is to decide how many columns you'll have across each page and what size type you want to use. And that'll give you a good idea of how much of each article will go into each column. You had to think about what you might call the paper, yeah?
How about in the can?
That's no good. We have to print that on toilet paper.
Hey, I got it. What about the Wentworth pen?
Oh, no, that's too arty crafty. How about the stir?
Oh, trust you to come up with that one, Lizzie.
What do you reckon, Mr. Marnie?
Yeah, I reckon they're all okay. Or why not the stir? Although it does sound a bit like the Star.
No, I like it. We could call it the Weekly Star.
A bit ambitious to get out a copy every week, I reckon.
Well, we haven't got that much government work to do. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, fair enough. What'll you put in it?
Well, Margot could do a racing column.
Oh, yes, Buzzer could.
Yeah, and we could have a gossip column from Lizzie.
Right up my alley.
No, I reckon she should do a cooking column. 101 ways to serve rat bait.
What exactly does that mean?
Enough journalistic bitching. That's reserved for the editor.
Who's that?
You, Jude.
Yeah, of course.
Come on, I can hardly start 2 words together.
They're the ideal qualifications.
Excuse me, Mr. Marnie, could I have a word with you, please?
Yeah, what is it?
Could you take your break at 10:30 and meet me in the staff room?
Sure, it's important.
It is. Birdsworth, you're on kitchen duties.
Margaret, just when I was going to get my own column.
Oh, forget about it. You keep your ear to the floor. You might pick up a juicy scandal or two.
Yeah, like what Mrs. O'Regan really puts in the stew.
Mr. Faulkner?
Your report on Kate Peterson. Mrs. Davidson hasn't received it yet.
Oh, no, sorry. Slipped my mind.
Slipped your mind. But Peterson's due out of solitary this afternoon. Mrs. Davidson has to decide whether or not to charge her.
I'm sure Mrs. Davidson can make a decision without my report. She knows what happened.
That is hardly the point. You're supposed to keep your reports up to date.
Which means spending more time behind a typewriter than looking after the prisoners.
Which is part of the job, and you know it. I'd like the report on Mrs. Davidson's desk by lunchtime. With the rumours flying around about you, you're the last person who can afford to slack off.
What rumours? You mean those lies Peterson's been spreading about me and Edwards? You just won't forget that, will you?
That's enough, Mr. Faulkner.
Like hell it is. She said a lot of things about you too, remember?
That's enough.
That damned ink seems to get everywhere. I've washed these hands twice already. You wouldn't believe it.
There's no milk.
Black will have to do. It'll match my hands. Do you want another cup yourself? Well, tell me what's so important that I have to fight off the women in the workshop to get here?
Well, it's just...
You're having second thoughts? About second marriages? Well, it's just that marriage, or being married, is important to me. I wouldn't have asked you to marry me if I didn't love you.
Can I have an exclusive interview for the newspaper? Guess what? I got a scoop.
Oh, well, you better return to the kitchen for Mrs. O'Regan, Mrs.
No, for the paper, Jude, an exclusive.
An exclusive? Stop press. Oh, it's already stopped.
Mr. Marnie and Miss Conway are getting married.
You gotta be joking.
No. I walked in on them in the staff room and I heard him talking about it and he was kissing her too.
Oh, well, that's some scoop. It'll be all over the prison by lunchtime.
Yeah. Now listen, no one's to breathe a word about it.
Look, bugger the screws. Have you found out whether Kate's boarded yet or not?
Look, if she hasn't, it won't be long with B on the job.
That's all you lot care about, isn't it? Bashing people and knocking them off. You weak-kneed lot, sitting around waiting for B to do your dirty work for you.
What are you going on about? It's B's job to take care of Kate. That's why she put her on trial.
And you all found her guilty, not just B.
Look, it doesn't matter. Mari would have done the job if she hadn't got shanghaied.
Oh, you weak-kneed lot of buggers.
Hey, all right. What is this? Bush week? Now, come on, ladies. Let's get back to work, shall we? Lizzie, you're not supposed to be in here. Skedaddle.
Hey, Mr. Marnie, is there any truth in the rumour that you and Miss Conway are getting hitched?
Oh, you shouldn't believe everything you hear, nor what you read in the newspapers.
Oh, come on, hurry it up, Wordsworth. The lunch bell will be going in a minute.
Yes, Mrs. Power. Hey, Mrs. Power, can I have a word with you?
What about?
Kate, Dr. Peterson.
No, there's nothing to talk about.
Well, Jude and me were talking. We reckon she's as bad as a
Wordsworth, if you're going to tell me she should be in a padded cell, just forget it. She's already tried that one.
Yeah, but Jude and me reckon she's fair dinkum. She's been acting really funny lately, and we don't reckon she's putting it on.
Oh, this is great, Julie. Thanks. Would have taken me hours.
Oh, these are to be filed, please, Julie. Oh, I certainly won't be sorry to leave here.
Are you going to leave?
I think so. Not much point in staying. Ian's talking of setting up his own business, and I can help him.
Well, I hate to break up the party, but have you finished that report yet, Mr. Faulkner?
All ready to go, Mrs. Powell. I was just going to take it through to the governor.
Well, perhaps I better take it. It's late enough as it is.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Powell. I held Steve up. I was just telling him that I'll be leaving Wentworth when Mr. Marnie and I get married.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think that's what you call being lost for words.
And that's another reason why I won't be sorry to leave here.
Bloody old po-face.
What's wrong?
I tried to tell her Kate was around the twist and she wouldn't even listen.
Oh, well, you're not surprised, are you? Look, I tell you what, I'm going to see the governor this afternoon. I'll see if I can have more luck with her.
It's all my fault. If I hadn't got B put in the pound, none of this would have been happening. There's no one you can talk to in this joint except Mr. Marnie, and he's leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Still, he did help us to set up the newspaper before he left.
Well, if you could understand it.
Oh, it wasn't that difficult.
It was all too quick. Hey, you know something, Jude? I might be able to stuff up the printing. Then Mr. Marnie could come back for a while and show us how to do it properly.
Yeah, and it could also give the screws an excuse to stop the newspaper. It's too risky, Lizzie.
You know something, Jude? You've got no faith in people.
I've just been talking to Tina.
Yeah?
She just took the meals up to Solitary. Reckons B hasn't got a key.
So
how's she going to get to Kate if there's a bloody great brick wall in between them?
She'll think of something.
Like hell. She's just got herself put up there so she can get out of it.
In that case, you should all be up there. Just passing the bloody buck.
What's she so uppity about?
She's a friend of Bee's.
Well, she'll be the only one left if Bea doesn't do something about Kate.
I don't know. I think she has a point. I mean, everybody decided that Kate was guilty, didn't they? Maybe everybody ought to be involved in carrying out the sentence.
What goes on here? You and Lizzie trying to get Bea off the hook?
No. I'm just saying that she has a point. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And if Smith doesn't want to face up to her responsibilities, there's plenty around that will.
Really?
Yeah, really. And when Queen Bee gets back to the land of the living, she might just find someone else sitting on her throne.
Is anyone here?
I must admit, Peterson's behaviour has me puzzled. She was absolutely desperate to have a transfer, and then when it was arranged, she fought tooth and nail not to go.
As well as I said in my report, it was obviously the sight of Mary Winter that made her change her mind.
She's been acting crazy for a while now. The other women think she's putting it on to get into a psychiatric hospital.
The thought had occurred to me. She's a very cunning woman.
It's still imprisonment. She'd be out of the frying pan into the fire.
Not necessarily. It could be a risk.
Now, if she is certified insane, she could be held on governor's pleasure, and she may never get out.
On the other hand, she could appeal against her sentence on the grounds of insanity. If she was successful, she could then stage a miraculous return to health and be released within a year or two.
Being a doctor, she'd have a good idea of the symptoms to fake.
Yes, to fool an expert, I imagine.
Supposing the appeal wasn't successful, she'd still be locked up.
Yes, but security at psychiatric hospitals isn't as tight as it is here. She could easily get out of a place like that if she seemed trustworthy enough.
So she wins out either way.
Only if we go along with her little game, and I have no intention of doing so at the moment. Would you prepare a chart sheet, Mrs. Morris?
Oh, you're back, are you?
Of course. Never left. Can't get rid of me that easily.
Oh, what's this for?
It was filthy. Filth breeds bacteria, which in turn causes diseases. Oh, let me see your hands.
What?
Oh, your fingernails are dirty. As we're obliged to share the same cell, I'd be grateful if you bear hygiene in mind.
Now, just a minute.
It won't do you any good bringing dirt and germs in here.
Oh, save it for the screws. I'm not interested. I've had a gut full of you. I'm going to ask to be moved to another cell.
Don't be ridiculous. I won't allow it.
You what?
Erica and I arranged for my transfer to this cell so that you could stop the other women from bothering me. That's why you're here.
Well, I've got news for you, mate.
Well, well, it's Dr. Death. Seems like I was right about B. Smith all along.
Oh, forget it, Margot.
Sure, forget B. Smith. She's as weak as Pommy Bear.
B. Smith isn't here. She's gone.
Too bloody right she's gone. Up on the top floor, quaking in her boots. Well, some of us haven't forgotten about you, Doc. There's still a small question of the death sentence.
I don't know what you're talking about. Judy, get this woman out of here.
What are you doing here, Brian?
Oh, I'm waiting for the work bell.
You're keen. Why don't you wait in your cell?
Because a certain doctor thinks I'm a disease-carrying slave that'll do whatever she wants.
Well, at least you'll get free medical treatment.
It's not a joke, Miss Conway. That woman's been giving us trouble ever since she got here.
Look, if it's any consolation to you, Mrs. Davidson is well aware of what a nuisance she is.
Yeah, I'll bet. Look, could I go and see the governor?
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, but I mean now. It's really urgent.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, couldn't I come with you?
I'll talk about persistence. Oh, all right, come on. Don't be surprised if she's busy.
Well, Bryant, what is this all about?
Kate Peterson.
Well?
At the moment, she's in the cell, scrubbing everything from top to bottom to get rid of the germs. She thinks we're all deliberately trying to infect her with some sort of a fatal disease. And not only that, when you told me that I was to look after her, she expects me to keep the women away from her all the time.
Why do you think she's doing this?
Well, I don't know. Maybe she's having a nervous breakdown.
And what do you suggest we do about it?
Well, I think she should be institutionalized.
That is precisely what she wants you to think. She has tried to scheme and bribe her way out of here, and she has failed. This is her latest idea. Once she has settled down and accepted her sentence, I think you'll find that all signs of her psychosis will disappear.
You know, that's exactly what Fletcher said about Linda Goldman before she hung herself.
Are you suggesting Peterson is suicidal?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not a shrink, am I?
Well, Dr. Weissman is due to see Hazel Kent very soon, and I intend to ask his opinion. In the meantime, I would prefer you to remain sharing a cell with her.
All right, but I hope you guys know what you're doing.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Could you tell me whereabouts I am?
Well, you're about 10 miles outside of Durham. What happened? You get lost?
Not exactly. Had a bit of an argument with my boyfriend. Kicked me out of the car.
Oh, rotten mongrel. Come on in, love. I'm just about to make a cup of tea. You fancy one?
If it's not too much trouble. I saw you drive up to the house and I thought I could ask where I could get a bus or a train or something.
That's funny. I didn't see you on the road.
No, I came across a paddock.
Oh, take a seat. Where are you heading for?
Holbrook. My mum and dad live there. Roger and I were on our way back from Shepparton.
Well, like I said, there's a bus stop in the town, but that's a good 10 miles away. My husband's got the car today, but when he gets back, he'll give you a lift. It'll be a couple of hours, though.
Oh, that's all right. There's no rush.
Listen, why don't you go and phone your parents and tell them that you're going to be late?
Oh, no, I can't. Oh, they're both at work. But I'll get in touch with them later.
Have you got a bag or anything?
No, I left it in the car.
What, everything?
Afraid so.
I don't know. What was he thinking of, dropping you off in the middle of nowhere?
I don't know. He was a nice guy. Suppose the argument was mostly my fault.
Now, don't you go blaming yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
Come in.
Could we have a word with you, Mrs. Davidson?
Certainly. Well, this seems rather official. Are you applying for Mr. Marley's position when he leaves, Miss Conway?
No, it's a more personal reason, actually.
But it involves us both.
Well, now I really am intrigued.
I'd like to hand in my resignation.
This is rather sudden. I thought you were settling in.
Oh, I was, but
I'm wooing her away, I'm afraid. Literally.
we're going to get married.
Well, congratulations. When do you plan to marry?
In a month or so, but we'll be going to Queensland next week so that Janet's family can be there.
I hope a week's notice is sufficient, Mrs. Davidson. I know it's very short, but there's just so much to do.
Oh, we'll manage somehow. We always have in the past. What are your plans for the future?
Oh, Ian's going to start up his own business.
Here or in Queensland?
No, down here. I'll always be on hand if the women ever need a refresher course.
I would say there'll always be someone who need a refresher course. By the way, how's the newspaper coming along?
Oh, very well. Tops. Enthusiasm hasn't flagged at all yet.
Good. Well, I don't know what to say, except congratulations again.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
See, I told you she wouldn't be jealous.
What the hell are you doing here, Peterson? Work bell went 10 minutes ago.
What business is it of yours?
You've just done a stint in the pound. Do you want to go back again?
That'd be so ridiculous. I won't be spoken to like that.
Look, Peterson, we're onto your little game. Pretending insanity. If you think it's going to work, you're more stupid than I thought.
How dare you? There's nothing wrong with either my sanity or my intelligence. If you weren't such a cretin, you'd recognize that.
It's not going to work, Peterson. Have you thought about confessing to Sandy's murder yet?
Why on earth would I do that?
And save the women handing out their own punishment. They will get to you sooner or later.
No one gets to me, Mr. Faulkner. They do. They have a very short future. And it doesn't matter who they are.
This is very kind of you, Mrs. Cameron.
I'll think nothing of it, dear. Besides, it's nice to have the company.
Perhaps I ought to go, though. I might miss the bus.
Oh, I doubt it. Sorry, what did you say your name was?
Doreen. Doreen Birdsworth.
Oh, sorry, Doreen. I had a bus timetable around here somewhere. Anyway, you stay till Brian gets back. He'll know the time of the next bus.
Oh, if you're sure. I don't want to cause him too much trouble.
Oh, excuse me. Hello? Oh, yes. Yes, Mrs. Spicer. Yes, definitely. I'll tell him. Thank you. Goodbye. Doreen? Did you say you hadn't got any money?
No. Roger, my boyfriend, had it.
Oh, dear. How are you going to pay for the bus fare, then?
Well, I thought I'd tell the bus driver my parents' address. He'll probably let me pay later. I'll arrange something.
Otherwise, we'll have to organise something with Brian. You've torn your jacket.
Yeah, I did it on the barbed wire fence.
Tell you what, I'll fix it for you.
Oh, I couldn't.
No nonsense, it's no trouble. Why don't you go and freshen up while I'm doing it?
I certainly wouldn't say no to that.
The bathroom's through there, dear.
We've got another report on that girl, Sarge.
What girl?
escapee from Wentworth. Frank Garner reckons he saw someone matching the description up Martin's Ridgeway.
When?
Oh, early this morning, he said.
Bloody hell, he took his time, didn't he? She'll be miles away by now. All right, get Johnson and Heath onto it.
Righto, Sarge.
Hey, Judy, can you turn the press off for a minute?
Oh, please don't stop on my account.
It's easier than shouting to be heard.
I just wanted to see how things were progressing.
Just fine. If I needed any further proof that I'm redundant, this is it.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, I think so. The women have picked up the basics very quickly. I don't think there's anything they can't handle.
Even the newspaper?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Is this the copy?
Oh, yeah, I haven't had a chance to read through that yet.
Yeah, it's not bad. Could do with some editing, though.
Jeez, what would you know?
Oh, I dabbled in journalism in my student days.
Oh, really? Perhaps you'd like to help the woman get this started.
Oh, don't think so. I always said I'd never go back to it.
He'd love to, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, who's the editor?
Well, I am, sort of.
Oh, do you want a hand to get things together?
Well, would there be censorship?
No way. Afraid of them with the press is something I feel very strongly about.
Okay. You'd certainly use the help of someone who knows what they're doing.
Well, Mr. Faulkner, you are now officially in charge of the prison newspaper.
My mother has been trying to marry me off for years. She was making arrangements as soon as I got off the telephone.
Oh, certainly sounds a wonderful prospect. Tropical wedding, honeymoon on a barrier reef island.
Yeah, well, the honeymoon's a better prospect than the wedding. You know what it's like when families get together, and especially when there's been a split.
Oh, yes, your parents are divorced, aren't they?
My father and my stepfather hate each other, and my brother and I aren't exactly on the best of terms. In fact, I'm hoping that Malcolm will be too busy to come up to Queensland.
Well, regardless of strained relations and pre-wedding hassles, I still envy you that holiday in the sun.
Why did you come, Meg? I need a friendly face, and as I said, I hardly know any of my relatives. Why won't you?
I am tempted. Oops, I better get back to it. See you. Oh, well, what are you and Ian doing after work?
Oh, nothing as far as I know.
In that case, drinks at the Arms. My shout.
Oh, yes to the drinks and no to the shout.
Take it or leave it. It's not often I become generous. Only on special occasions.
You're on.
Do you reckon it was a good idea to let Alty Faulkner stick his nose in?
Yeah, well, if he doesn't, I don't think we'd have a newspaper anyway.
Why not?
I think it'd probably fold from lack of interest. At least with him here, the women are sitting up and taking notice. I don't know what they see in him, though. He's not my idea of a spunk.
Yeah, well, he's the wrong sex for a star.
It's true, isn't it?
Oh, God, look what the wind just blew in.
Ah. Kate, if you come here to work, there's a job for you at the bench there, okay?
Whack off, bitch.
What's she up to?
I don't know. Just ignore her.
You had your look? You want us to do a song and dance for you?
Hey, okay, take it easy. Look, Kate, if you've come here to work. Don't disturb the others. Help Lorna sort out the paper, okay?
I'm gonna drop that stuff, bitch.
Take it easy. No one is going to drop anyone in here. Just don't let it get to you.
He's right, you know. Just forget about it. Look, if you play right into her hands like that, she's going to yell for the screws and you will end up in the pound quicker than a speeding bullet.
Look, she won't get a chance to yell.
I thought you might like to know, Gaffney, that you're next in line for special attention.
What? She's just putting on an act for the screws. She doesn't worry me.
Well, you keep telling yourself that. You might believe it.
Well?
Well, what?
I'm waiting for an explanation.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care.
Gaffney came close to attacking me in the workshop today. You did absolutely nothing to stop her. I'm assuming you're putting yourself on her side.
I'm on nobody's side, damn it! How many times do I have to tell you I'm not interested in getting at you?
I expect your support, Bryant. I mean, the governor has told you, and I have told you. Well aware of the attitude of the morons in this place. They resent the fact that I'm intelligent enough to see through their trivial little schemes. But I can handle them. I can handle them exactly the same way as I handle every other pathetic threat.
I'm telling you, B. Smith's let us down. It was her idea to put the bloody doctor on trial. And since Mari's got shanghaied, she's too weak to carry out the sentence.
Well, it's not like Bea to back down like that.
Well, she has. And we can't just let Kate get off scot-free.
Well, what are we supposed to do? She leads a charmed life. She's like a bloody cat.
Look, I'll do the bloody job if no one else is willing. All I need's a bit of backup.
I don't know, Margot. Sandy was a pretty tough lady and Kate got the better of her.
Sheer bloody luck. Probably got her when she wasn't looking. Lizzie's right. You're all bloody weak-kneed.
We are not. We just don't want to take any risks.
What bloody risks? Kate's no big deal. I'll show you. You just watch her back down. Then perhaps she'll help me take care of her for good.
You off, Sarge?
Yep. I'm going down to the bus depot. If that girl is in the district, she might try and get the evening bus out. Thought I'd have a word with the driver, just in case she flags him down on the road.
I don't know. It's a bit strange, I reckon. Getting that phone call last night and then Frank seen her, but no sign since then.
You know what it's like. People see a picture of a wanted crime on TV. Next thing you know, there are reports from all over the place. Every stranger in the district is a suspect, even if they're nothing like the description.
Suppose you're right. I'll see you in the morning then.
Yeah, see you, John. Oh, any messages for me, pass them on to the bus depot.
Mrs. Cameron? My clothes?
Oh, yes, love. They were a bit mucky, so I washed them out for you. They're in the dryer at the moment. Won't be long.
You've been very kind to me, Mrs. Cameron. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, forget it, dear. If you can't offer a bit of hospitality to someone who's had a rough trot, it's a rotten old world, isn't it? There we are. Good as new. Oh, Brian will be back in a minute. I hope he's not late, or you might miss your bus.
Will it take long to get to the bus stop?
No, 10 or 15 minutes, the way Brian drives. I'll see if your clothes are ready. You put the kettle on. We'll have a cup of tea ready for him when he gets here.
Getting the same card. Aren't Superman comics more your style, Doc? Hey, don't ignore me, Doc. You were the one going to give me special treatment, remember?
Brian, see that Gaffney gets back to a card game.
Butt out of this, Jude's between me and her.
Nice weather for this time of the year, isn't it?
Just you and me, Doc.
Don't be a silly little girl, Gaffney. Go and sit down.
You better wise up, Doc. We got a score to settle.
Who are you, Gaffney? Are you taking over from Mari Winter, or do you want to succeed where Sandy Edwards failed?
God, will you let go of her? You're going to kill her. Let go.
Don't speak to me like that again, Brian.
Hell.
Oh, he is a bit late. I do hope you haven't missed your last bus. Oh, good. Here he is now. I'll tell him to take you straight away. Hello, love. Listen, we got a young kid who needs a lift into the bus stop. Can you take her before the last bus goes?
Kid? What kid?
Oh, a young girl. She had an argument with her boyfriend on the road and he kicked her out of the car.
See. Wouldn't be Susan Driscoll by any chance, would it?
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too. When morning comes around, last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside the roses grow, they don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too. When morning comes around.